A reading from the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 13, verses 13 to 25. Paul and his companions sailed from Paphos and came to Perga, a city in Pamphylia, where John Mark left them and went back to Jerusalem. They went on from Perga and arrived in Antioch in Pisidia, and on the Sabbath they went into the synagogue and sat down. After the reading from the law of Moses and from the writings of the prophets, the officials of the synagogue sent them a message. Brothers, we want you to speak to the people if you have a message of encouragement for them. Paul stood up, motioned with his hand, and began to speak. Fellow Israelites and all Gentiles, hear who worship God, hear me. The God of the people of Israel chose our ancestors and made the people a great nation during the time they lived as foreigners in Egypt. God brought them out of Egypt by his great power, and for 40 years he endured them in the desert. He destroyed 7 nations in the land of Canaan and made his people the owners of the land. All this took about 450 years. After this, he gave them judges until the time of the prophet Samuel. And when they asked for a king, God gave them Saul, son of Kish, from the tribe of Benjamin, to be their king for 40 years. After removing him, God made David their king. This is what God said about him. I have found that David, son of Jesse, is the kind of man I like, a man who will do all I want him to do. It was Jesus, a descendant of David, whom God made the Savior of the people of Israel as he had promised. Before Jesus began his work, John preached to all people of Israel that they should turn from their sins and be baptized. And as John was about to finish his mission, he said to the people, "Who do you think I am? I am not the one you are waiting for. But listen, he is coming after me, and I am not good enough to take his sandals off his feet." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.